Mark Wootton is with us. He's a speaker from Intermodal this year. He's the leading professional smart ports at Royal Haskoning DHV. You'll have to unpick all of that for me. What do you do?
Thanks, Peter, and it's good to be here. I think as a part of the team at Royal Haskoning, obviously the company is mainly designing and building ports, airports, planning them, designing them, building them. But then we're also looking at how do we operate them in a more smarter way, of course, and in also a more sustainable way. So I think the team that I'm part of is looking at how do we use technology within the port environment to help the ports to operate more efficiently, to improve the services that they offer to their clients, and obviously to reduce waste and improve the environmental performance of the port.
Your session this afternoon was fascinating. It made me realise how exciting our industry sector is. You were talking through how some of your customers, how you're helping some of your customers to make their ports more smart. What are the ways in which you're helping them do this?
As I said in the talk, I think a lot of terminals and most ports have some level of technology already in place. I think there's obviously more modern options available, so we often advise our sort of clients in terms of what we see as being the most suitable solution for them, given the environment in that they're operating, whether that be sort of digital maturity or the need to sustain employment versus automation. So of course we do look at automation very seriously, and it's sort of a key part of what we do, but at the same time you need to look at what are the sort of ultimate goals and benefits for the organization. It's not delivering technology for the sake of it, but also at the end it should deliver some bottom line benefits to the organization and to the employees and to the broader community as well.
I got very much the impression that there's no big step changes to be made. It's more a question of optimizing existing technologies. Is that the same also for sustainability, ways in which you're helping your customers to make their operations more sustainable?
I would say yes and no. I mean, as we already spoke, I think the assets that we see tend to change very slowly. There's quite a lot of inertia built in just because of the scale and the size and the number of physical assets, whether they're vessels using fossil fuels to port equipment running on diesel, for example. So switching them all over takes time and quite a significant investment. But I would say that there's definitely been a ramp up and a more sort of focus on how do we change it more quickly. So especially when it comes to sustainability and the targets that have been set, I think there's a certain level of urgency in how do we find solutions and accelerate this change, which if we left it naturally would take 50 years to happen, and we want to do it in less than half that time. So I think there's definitely a push to move it forward a lot more quickly on the sustainability side.
Mark, you're an industry professional that's come from South Africa through Istanbul, and here we are in the Netherlands. And yet this is your first Intermodal. Yes. What are your impressions of it so far?
Well, it was not, I guess it's a little bit different to what I was expecting. A lot more containers. I thought it would be more about the supply chain and the sort of rail and the road side, but I see it's more, a lot of it really focused around the container itself. Some familiar sort of companies in some sense, but a lot of new. So I think what I take away is we're still quite siloed in what we do in the ports and what we do in intermodal and what we do in the shipping side. And there's a need to bring everything together in a sort of a way to find these solutions that work across the supply chain. So I think it's good to see it and to experience it, but there's still quite a lot of work to do.
Well, thank you for bringing your knowledge and perspective to Intermodal. It's a pleasure to host you.
Yeah, it's been great to be here.